Mikulu zambi. Mitata minyamzangi. Oye, mifinga matoto, mifinga mayaya. Mikulu tamu mapa lubasu. Fadamu na damundu. Akatro piki magoisha. Kasha mude benga kololo futa fula kong. Abanzu mutapu. Grigri majofe mamba.
Koru atrae.
Abem saina, Sabina obiama. Sabina obiama, Sabina obiama. Sabobia, we guaninimba, sabobia, we guaninimba, we guaninimba, Obia balina doti, amku balina doto, amasi balina doti, ajebi balina doto, amasi balina doti,
Welcome back to the last part of FASHIONCLASH Festival. We just watched an amazing video. It's a co-creation between Black Harmony, one of the most popular Surinamese bands. Every wedding, every birthday party, they are there. And a menswear fashion brand, Xosa, by Giorgio Topin. And this is the Clash House. And it's all about collaborations between different art forms and fashion. And today I have on my side different designers. And next to me right now is Maarten van Mulken. He made his show Unknown Entry Event. And also on my left side is Rena Jansen Lovesick. And I'm going to talk to these designers and some more designers later on about the collections they made in collaboration with Mami Izumi and Giovanni Berend. And with the additional support of our long-term partner, SESSIBON. And as I said, the Clash House is all about participating designers, challenging to actively experiment with forms of presentation and inclusive audience participation. So what we're going to see today is really new, it's really diverse, it's really exclusive. I'm so excited to see this later on. So my table guests today, as I already said, are Maarten van Mulken and Rena Jansen. And later on, we're going to talk to Marlou Breuls, Berend Brus, Benji and Nemo from the Nightmare Disorder, and Nevena Ivanovic of Neo Design. And some people are here through Zoom because they couldn't be here today, which is very sad, but they're here in spirit and we're going to talk to them anyway. So the first video performance we're going to look at is from Maarten van Mulken. It is called Unknown Entry Event, and it's basically a collection that challenges the fashion standards and normativity we experience as individuals. I'm not going to say anything more about it. We're just going to look at the video. Enjoy.
Welcome. Your countdown begins in 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. 0, 1. The raging earth 1 beneath our feet. 1. Is it us? Or is it the world changing? 1. Thoughts are scattered everywhere. What's going to happen? Explosions, distraction, illusions and delusions. You scare me. In this world that's getting cheaper, what's our worth? We're putting out fires with gasoline, trying to create new beginnings with the old still lingering. We are not in control here. We're simply losing the control we thought we had. Plans are full herent in the circus called life.
You ask me when I'm weary. Who cares?
I've lost my head in thoughts a while ago. Explosions in the sky. Nature will take back. This is the countdown. Yes. It's a countdown to new things happening. To repent.
Rethink. What's next? What comes next? Now, what will we do next?
Reflect my eyes.
This garment reflect my eyes. The rays of earth
Pose beneath our feet.
We just watched Maarten van Mulken's Unknown Entry event. Are you happy with what you saw?
I'm very happy. It was very nice to come see this project come to life, and it was really exciting to see everybody doing their utmost best.
Yeah.
I'm very, very happy. Yeah.
Amazing, good to
Yeah.
hear. So you got challenged to step out of your comfort zone.
Yes.
Can you tell me more about the process?
It was actually very nice because Giovanni got started talking about like what I wanted to say about like fashion now and what it was and what was happening and what Unknown Entry event was for me. And we came with the conclusion that we had to look at old folk pictures, model poses and stuff, and make it extraordinary, make it a sort of circus-like theme. And the moment he said that, I was like, it's perfect because I'm working with stripes. I want to do the circus theme, and actually made a mockery of society now.
Yeah.
And yeah, this.
Amazing.
So, yeah.
And so your collection is one that raises more questions than it gives answers,
Yes.
right? Did this whole process give you any answers?
No, because I already did the Unknown Entry event actually before the whole corona and everything, and it was about like if there's something that happens and you cannot control it, what will happen then? Can we do something about it, or are we along for the ride? And then corona came, so for me it actually made more questions like, am I going the right direction? Am I doing a great job? And this certifies it that I did, but also raises more questions on what will come next.
Yeah, because
So,
we still don't know.
No, and yeah, true.
And you also cross boundaries between the haute couture and the fast fashion industry. I see the haute couture in
Yeah.
the shapes, but where do I see the fast fashion industry?
I did a lot of digital prints in it. I do a lot of recycle, so basically almost 90%, let's say 90% of the collection is ecological.
Wow.
I make all prints myself, I print them myself. We used trash from the Amsterdam canals even to make the jewelry pieces, and now we're finding a way to make it for shops even.
Okay.
So to not say like we have to stop creating, because that's for me a bit weird, because we want to create, but how can we make it better?
Yeah. And do you have any ideas on that already?
There are some, yes, but there's also a lot of questions still, so
Yeah,
we'll see how it's going. Yeah.
And can you take us into the process? Like, how do you find out new ways to produce the clothing?
It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of small companies. It takes a lot of connections. It takes a lot of people that are interested in my work. I'm interested in their work, and it's a lot of working together.
Yeah.
Towards it.
And where do you see your brand going from here?
I don't know yet. I hope to do a lot of theater work still, because you can make way more conceptual work, but also into the fashion thing to actually the consumer who buys the clothing, to give them a little text with it or an extra depth of the clothing piece, where it's coming from and who made it and this.
And doing more theater work, you said. Is that because of this project?
Also, but also because I already was doing it a bit, but now FASHIONCLASH actually made my project a realization, so for that I'm very happy.
Amazing.
I want to continue with this,
Okay, and what do you want people to remember about your work?
That it's crazy and it poses questions, but also to maybe think by themselves, like, what do I want in further life or fashion or in whatever way you want to go.
Yeah, that's amazing. Thank you so much, Maarten van Mulken. So the next show we're going to watch is from Rena Jansen, and it's called Lovesick, and it's an ode to young love. Enjoy.
The woman I love is flying through the clouds. I feel her heels coming down, down into my lovesick dreams. The wind is whispering me, whispering in her sweet voice, and then I remember that angels don't exist. I've never understood what it is I'm supposed to feel. Like a bird on the wing in a swollen sky, my mind is torn by lightning as it flies from the thunder behind. Will you be mine? Will you be mine? Hey, what are we waiting for? We are young but are so ready. Hey, what are we waiting for? The time is now, so let's get it. But baby, my love's sick, baby. come the city, thunder crashes and lightning flashes. I'm obsessed over you. I must remove your wings so you can't fly away. Big black clouds overcome the city, thunder crashes and lightning flashes. I'm obsessed over you. I must remove your wings. You can't fly away. Big black clouds overcome the city, thunder crashes and lightning flashes. I'm obsessed over you. I must remove your wings. You can't fly away. Fly away. Hey, what are we waiting for? We are young but also ready. Hey, what are we waiting for? The time is now, so let's get it, baby. My love's sick, baby. Hey, what are we waiting for? We are young but also ready. Hey, what are we waiting for? The time is now, so let's get it, baby. My love's sick, baby.
We just watched Love Sick by Rena Jansen. Amazing.
Yes.
Are you happy? Yeah? Oh, so good to hear. I feel like every piece I just saw tells its own story.
Yes. So for me, when I design, I don't necessarily create a collection, at one time. But I always really approach clothes just by one piece, and then tell a story through that piece, and then combining that to create a new story through its own different stories.
Yeah. And what story is this collection telling?
The starting point of my collection was I wanted to appreciate more the earliest relationships that we have in life. So when you're a teenager or you're a kid and you start to fall in love for the first time, it's those types of love are always kind of overlooked, and we don't really appreciate them for what it is. It's like a silly thing when you're a kid, but it's actually very valuable in your when you get older. You realize how much you learn from those experiences, and even it's the positive types of love from being in love and walking with your head in the clouds, but also negative times when love isn't reciprocated.
Yeah.
But it's all very valuable, I think.
Yeah. I also felt like it's very joyful and dreamy, but there's also like a very serious tone in this whole performance. Can you tell me more about the development of this performance? Because it's not just a show; it's like it's not a fashion show, but a whole theatrical show.
Yes. So really, I always like when there's a lot of contradictions. And I took a lot of inspiration from surrealism as well. René Magritte, for example, is very dreamy but also very serious.
Yeah.
And I collaborated with the singer Martin Malibu, who is also a character in itself.
Tell me more about him, because I don't know him.
He's someone I know from the academy, actually. And
Which academy?
In Utrecht.
Okay.
KU.
Yeah.
And now he's studying theater. And he's this whole alter ego of Martin Malibu, where he's this hopeless romantic, and it's just a joy to watch. He's so
wow, so that perfectly came together, right?
Exactly, it was such a perfect match. So it was really cool to collaborate with him as well.
Amazing. And for this project, you were guided by performing artist Mami Itsumi, right?
Yes.
Okay, and what did she teach you?
She really came from a whole different angle. She's a choreographer, so she immediately was like, okay, what movements do you associate with this, or how should this move? And I'm like, oh, I've never actually really thought about that. I just look at the clothes. So it's really interesting to collaborate with someone who just has a different point of view, but also you can still understand the same story, but you just look at it from different angles.
Yeah, yeah. And was it hard for you that sometimes it was like you were clashing with her over what you think you were capable of doing and what she maybe thought you were capable of doing?
I wasn't really, I wasn't clashing with her. It was a bit of a challenge for me to look at it in a different way, because I'm so used to the standard fashion shows that I never really that much thought about doing something else.
Yeah.
So, but it was really fun.
Would you do it again?
Yes, definitely.
Amazing.
I really see so many more opportunities this way.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good to hear. That it broadens your world, basically.
Definitely.
And also, you are a sustainable designer.
Yes.
Can you tell us more about that?
I mean, sustainable is always a bit difficult to claim to be a sustainable designer, but I definitely tried to do work ecologically. So I only use either overstock materials that I buy from other designers or ecologically produced fabrics. Yeah. So for example, the prints, like this print that I'm wearing, it is printed on recycled polyester with...
I love it. I already ordered one with her.
Yeah, and I did all the screen printing as well, that I used sustainable inks for, and that way I try to,
Yeah, great.
do the best.
And where do you see your brand going in the next few years?
I hope to start selling stuff. I really think clothing really starts living its life when it's off catwalk. I don't think it's supposed to be only on the catwalk, but I think it should go on and live its own life through people wearing it. So I opened up a web shop today, actually, and I hope to...
Congratulations.
Thank you.
What's the link? Tell everyone.
It's just renejansen.bigcartel.com, but you can find it from my website as well.
Perfect.
Yes.
And my last question for you is, what is your biggest takeaway of this collaboration?
I'm always a bit stubborn and I always like to do my own thing. So it's really good for me to collaborate sometimes and hear other people. And I mean, it really opens my eyes to the possibility. You can do so much more when you're together than when you're just by yourself.
Yeah.
And also I think fashion, when you start studying fashion, they teach you to just be a designer by yourself, but that's so unrealistic. That's not how fashion works. It's always a collaboration, so it's good to do that.
Yeah, yeah. And are there other art forms you would like to explore now you did this?
I mean, there's many things. I would always love to learn more about sculpting. That's something that always fascinates me. But I mean, also theater. I mean, everything can be combined with fashion, I think.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Rena Jansen and Maarten MULKEN. The next show we're going to watch is by Marlou Breuls Creative Studio, and it's called Objectification of the Body.
welcome. We would like to thank you for visiting our exhibition, called Objectification of the Body. In this liminal space, boundaries between fashion, sculpture and the human body have become alienated. The boundaries of multidisciplinary design will be pushed. We would like to remind visitors that the works include the stretching, warping and exploding of the human form. Viewer discretion is advised for those easily disturbed. We hope you enjoy the exhibit and we wish you a pleasant evening.
We just watched Objectification of the Body by Marlou Breuls Creative Studio, and we're having some technical difficulties, but we're trying to connect to Marlou, who is at home right now, to tell us all about this amazing, amazing performance. And I need her to guide me through what I just saw, because I think she's there. Marlou. Hello, can you hear me? Are you there, Marlou? I can see her already, but I'm not hearing her yet, so...
I think you can hear me now.
Yes, I can hear you now. Welcome, welcome, Marlou. How are you?
I can't hear you so well. So.
Is it hard to hear me?
Sorry, can you ask that again?
How are you doing right now?
Now I can hear. Well, now I'm doing fine. I was a bit nervous because it also, for me, it was the first time to see everything together. Yeah. But I'm doing well. I hope you are too.
Yes, I am too. Thank you. So can you guide us through what we just saw? Because you, your work is about fashion-related sculptures. What did we just see?
Well, what you just saw was actually like... For me, it was there's a lot of noise also going on, so I'm sorry.
Are you distracted by it? Do I have to repeat my question?
Yeah, please do so.
Okay, so you work with fashion-related sculptures. Did you follow that?
Yes,
guys, this is the future. Technology, it's not working out for us. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you, but yeah, it's difficult, but I'll try.
Okay, let's just do our best. We're going to try to get some answers. So yeah, your work is you make fashion-related sculptures, move in a space where time, textiles, and the human body are unnaturally merged. I feel like that is what I just saw, the merging of like fashion and the sculptures. Can you tell us more about your performance?
I'm sorry, I cannot hear anything because I hear people talking through the...
Okay, Okay, then maybe we'll come back to you later.
Now
we're going to fix some things here.
Now I can hear you clear.
And then we're going to look at the next video and then we'll come back to you.
Yes, okay, thanks.
Okay, oh wait, are you hearing me now?
Yes, I hear you much better now.
Okay,
there was a lot of noise.
That's great. Okay, one more time. Your work is about fashion-related sculptures. Can you tell me more about the performance we just saw? Because I felt like it was not really a tangible fashion, but something in between sculpture and fashion. Tell us more.
That's correct. Well, the whole idea started with the fact that I've been doing fashion for quite some time, and I always had the urge to see where I could go with my work. So I always had the urge of like experimenting a lot with material, and the last year I had a lot of time to think about what I wanted to do with my brand. So I came up with an idea and a goal to see if I can make a more, if I could take a turn into working as a fashion sculptor instead of a fashion designer, because I always feel that working with materials gives me a lot of focus and makes me very happy also. This was actually like a measuring point for me, because I've been trying for quite some time now to experiment more with, okay, how can I use the human body as like a sort of sculpture where I can work on materials, and can I recreate the human shape with materials different than textile? So can I work with clay and see what turns out, what comes out of that? So actually, Fashion Clash was for me a way to see, okay, how can I combine fashion and sculptures? And after Fashion Clash, I will continue with like the results that I have now and see, okay, how can I now try to translate that into, for example, wearable designs.
Designs, yeah. You almost answered all my questions, but I'm still wondering, like this experiment with the theatrical performance, is that a layer you want to keep adding to your collections and your shows? Or do you feel like, okay, I tried this and now I'm gonna try something new and different?
Yeah. I think it's going to be a combination of both. I really enjoyed seeing my work come to life in a different way than fashion shows, because I think my work does not always speaks enough when it's walking by. So definitely the video, the medium of making a video with a concept behind it really works quite well. But also the people from FASHIONCLASH know that this was like an in-between moment. So I also really showed the process. And I think I could not have done that without this medium. So yes, I will definitely try to use it again in the future, but also I will try to do or add other ways of presenting my work in the future.
Great, thank you. It was nice speaking to you. We had some little technical difficulties, but I think it all eventually turned out well. Thank you so much, Marlou, Breuls.
Thank you.
So next to me are 3 new designers, and on my right side, or maybe the left side at home, I don't even know right now, is Berend Brus, and we're gonna watch his show For Dear Life, which is about mental health.
Dear life. Well,
You just watched For Dear Life by Berend Brus. Berend, I saw a very clear play between darkness and light, between letting go of the weight you're carrying on your shoulders, mental health. Tell me more about why you want to raise the stigma on mental health right now.
I think because of the time we're living in right now, it is the perfect time to talk about mental health. It is a concept that's been on hold for basically 2 years. It's something I thought of with a very close friend I like to collaborate with, Elise Leeflang. But in 2018, when I graduated, I really wasn't ready. I still felt the stigma very intensely. I still feel it. I still feel slightly uncomfortable even talking about it now, even though I made a complete collection about it. Yeah. And when COVID happened and actually the lockdown happened, and I think a lot of creatives lost their job, or at least a big part of their job, I all of a sudden, instead of like working 60 hours a week, I was sitting at home doing nothing, not doing what I'm very passionate about. Mm. And during that same time, I knew I needed to make a new collection, and I was like, yeah, I can make it about like love, but the only thing I'm feeling now is heaviness. Mm. And so then I was like, maybe I'm not ready, but let's take this jump.
Yeah, yeah. And was it easier to talk about or work around this subject because you were now turning your show into a theatrical performance?
I think this kind of performance gives the concept more space to breathe, actually. I think within a like a very traditional catwalk show, it would have been more about the fashion and less about the idea behind it. Yeah. And in this case, I still love the pieces I created, and I feel very connected to them, but it's kind of irrelevant because for me it's about the story that I want to tell. Yeah.
And can you tell us more about the last piece we saw? Because she was wearing a very bold big coat, and underneath she was wearing a flowy dress. Can you tell me more about that?
I think he identifies as a man, but...
Oh, sorry. It's a little bit far, the screen, so I couldn't see that well.
It's okay. Also, my fashion is quite gender fluid in a way,
yeah.
Or in this case, kind of ignored. The last piece, I wanted to have a continuous storyline from the darkest moment when you can't pull yourself out of bed to the moment where you're taking your first very careful steps, like into the light as a positive, not as a into the light.
Yeah.
And just being back in a way, just standing there, powerful, still vulnerable, but also reconnected with yourself.
Yeah, yeah. And for who are you creating these pieces?
I think it's for myself. I think it's for other people who have dealt with mental health issues, to give them some recognition in a way. I hope it can be used by people as a kind of an explanatory tool to be like, this is what I'm experiencing. And I think the more a subject is talked about, the more we kind of like share the heaviness, share the burden in a way, and I think that's what needs to happen when it comes to mental health.
Yeah, very important. Thank you for raising this topic. Thank you so much, Berend Brus. Now I'm going to look to the other side, and there I have Benji and Nemo of the nightmare disorder. Well, let's just watch the show. I read that you really want to scare the audience in the best way possible. We're up to something. Let's go.
Thank you very much. Thank you for being here tonight. We have some very special guests. Very, very special. Now, listen closely. Real symptoms dress in ordinary clothes and look very much like ordinary women. But be aware, as they just might come together and cause quite a disorder. Can I get a big applause for the main lady, the mother, the lord, the one and only monster under the bed? Behind her, her looming trauma, the shadow. Oh, poor thing, with that scared face, frozen and startled forever. Isn't that just dreadful? So sad. Well, come on out, you fool. The oh so foolish freak, prancing around with that panic laughter. I love it. But be careful, she might just wake you. The next symptom is a goody good one. She never disappoints. So refined. You know what I love about her? The emotionless stare. Disgust. Our next guest is quite an eruption. Her fiery temper reflects in her silky swimsuit. Let's hear it for anger! Now hold on! The next one is a crazy one. Panic is her middle name. Keep calm and carry on. Here's distress. The scaredy cat of the bunch is fear. Oh, come on out, darling. There's nothing to be afraid of. Fear can't really function anymore when she's awake, and she's too scared to go to bed. Poor thing. Now, give it up for the last symptom joining us. Tired. Tired, hasn't slept for days. Sweetie, you have to get some rest. You look terrible. Time for bed.
Why are you here? What do you want?
Don't be a baby, I know what I'm doing. Come over here.
God, I thought you'd never pass.
That's disgusting.
Well, what do you expect?
Why are you dressed like that?
This is a costume. I'm a homicidal maniac. They look just like everyone else.
That's not true.
Yes, it is. We all know it. When we have a new baby, one of the others has to die. But mother is sloppy.
Why?
If I had to kill a baby, I would scare it to death. If you're going to be a pest, I'm going to ignore you.
Mother looks horrendous behind her human face mask.
You dared to mock me!
Go to hell!
Oh, I've been there, thank you very much. I found it quite lovely.
She thinks she can make a fool out of me?
Who?
The lady with the stupid haircuts.
Monster?
I'm gonna punish you because I'm big and you're small, and I'm right and you're wrong, and there's nothing you can do about it.
I miss my words! Luckily, I found this little thing.
Volunteer myself for this task. I want to kill the baby.
This is the end. I can feel it.
We are doomed! Goodbye!
Goodbye, cruel world.
Bye-bye!
Wake up! Wake up, sleepyhead! I've missed you.
Thank you for joining us tonight. What a night! So, let's hear it one last time for the Nightmare Disorder!
Wow, that was quite a performance. Did you guys like what you see?
Yeah, it was great.
Amazing. Okay, we need to start at the beginning. How did you guys find each other? Because this is so specific. How, you have both the same vision and same style and same inspiration. Tell me all about that.
Well, so we met at Artes, where we both studied. We were in the same class. We fell in love. And then at one point we really noticed that we both share the same vision on what we think fashion should be now, even though that our aesthetics are completely different. Well, our aesthetics, let me say differently, our aesthetics were completely different when graduating also. And then we decided that we want to work together. So we really used also Fashion Clash as this experiment to see how that would work.
Yeah. And we also choose like to develop our own like identity separately because we already like during the graduation we already like had the feeling, okay, we might like fit together very nicely in something like a brand or something like that. So yeah, then we developed like really our own styles, and then
now we kind of, to be symbolic about it, we clashed them together.
Yeah. Amazing, and it works really well. So you were saying that you have specific ideas of what fashion brands should be nowadays.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate on that?
Well, we really want to focus on the storytelling aspect of fashion. So also in this way with a film that worked actually quite great. We really, what fashion should be in this time is really, we want to have fun with it, but also not only look at the fun parts, but also kind of go into our anxieties and fears in a way. That's also where the name comes from.
Like this exciting feeling when you're watching like a horror movie or something like that. We both had like the feeling that creepy perfection somehow is really something that we both really enjoy in fashion. It's something that's like scary, but also like really perfect in a way. So
yeah, because I like the silhouettes and the lines of the clothing. Like, were there corsets in some of the pieces?
No.
No. Well, the thing that we did, like for this collection, that we clashed like our both graduation collections together, like really to discover what this rough sketch of the nightmare disorder can look like. So for us, it was like a very logical step to use our graduation collections to style those together and create like this new image. So there's like parts of my graduation and Nemo's, and mine was like totally different concept-wise than Nemo's.
And how can we recognize both of your signature styles in this collection?
Well, I used a lot of stripes in my graduation collection, so that's where the stripes came from. And the spikiness in
very feminine, like dangerous, like leather and nails, like that were like the things that I was like pretty much using in the...
Nice. Okay, and so now you're basically a fashion house together.
Yeah.
Okay, where do you see your brand going from here?
Well, we've talked about the dream, like the far dream really being working in film production, so designing film, because we are big admirers of films from like Tim Walker or Guillermo del Toro or other great directors that are very visual in a way.
Yeah.
So we would love to collaborate with those kinds of people in the future. And then in the meantime, I think we're really gonna develop a brand. So we also want to see how we can also sell, or how we're still working on that.
Yeah.
But,
And maybe create your own films? Because this was like a short film, basically.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think film is a very nice medium for our work.
Yeah, and this was also like, for us, it's really exciting to really take this like further, because now we're also talking about like our first like collection together, because this was of course like a storytelling styling thing, but then now we are very enthusiastic about like the next step that we really want to like
really creating together for the first time after this.
Well, not the first time. This was your first time.
But really designing the full thing.
Okay, so you're both like very positive, enthusiastic about it, and like this is what you're gonna do.
Absolutely.
Okay, nice. And do you have like a big dream? Like, where would you be in 10 years?
Yeah. So I think making films with Tim Burton.
Okay. Dream big.
Dream big or go home,
Right, amazing. Thank you so much, Benji and Nemo.
Thank you.
Also, thank you, Berend, Brus. And now we're going to move on to our next show. And that's a video performance by Neo Design. And that's founded by Nevena Ivanovic. Enjoy. That was Junicineo. Sorry, it's really hard for me to pronounce, but by Nevena Ivanovic. And she couldn't be here because of obviously the pandemic, but she's here through Zoom. So we're very happy that you could digitally be here. How are you doing right now?
Hi, well, I'm doing pretty well, but wait a sec, I have some technical issues. I can hear myself repeating.
Okay, we can hear you clearly.
Okay. Now it's better.
Is it better now? Okay, great to hear, great to hear. So can you tell me, how do I pronounce the name of your collection?
Unishi now. Unishi is the name for Japanese horoscope zodiac, actually, and it is very important to be pronounced very well.
Okay, can you tell me more about your collection and what we just saw?
Actually, you saw a story about making of the zodiac. There is a legend where Buddha invited all of the animals from his kingdom to his farewell dinner, and he decided that the first 12 who will come to his dinner will be awarded a place in his zodiac. And the order they were coming to him was the order they have in zodiac.
And how did?
And I wanted to tell a story through the performance and also through a collection, how their personalities brought them to the Buddha.
And how did you find out about this story?
I was Googling a lot.
You were Googling, okay. And were there already images that put this story in picture, or did you create this all by yourself? You made your own vision of it?
For me, it was very interesting that there is something like a zodiac, and it's very important to Japanese people, as I heard. And there are a lot of stories, but actually not that much visuals. And it was very. I was wondering why they don't have that much visual interpretations of it. And it was very open for me to create something that I visualize.
Yeah.
And that is how I came up with this. It's very interesting that in English you cannot really find a lot of things about Japanese zodiac. Actually, that is Chinese zodiac, Asian zodiac, and it was transmitted to all the other countries around as China was progressing, and Japanese people just accepted and changed some of the animals that were living in their surrounding, so it was more close to their people.
Okay, nice. Thank you so much. And also, I've heard that you all put this together just in 1 week. That you weren't able to come to the Netherlands because of the pandemic. You couldn't travel, so you did this in a week.
Yes, actually, that is true. But preparations were actually a lot longer. We started with the FASHIONCLASH team. I started working on it this summer, actually. And actually, we worked on it for 6 months. And in the end, I had a whole picture in my head. I just had to make it happen, but that just is organizing around 40 people in one day to do the thing, and it's my first time producing something this big, actually. In the end, I became a producer, but I was just the designer in the beginning. And actually, it was very comfy for me to do something like that because I had a whole picture in my head before I started. So it was pretty much easy. And also I had amazing team around me, friends that I work with for years now, and a lot of new people actually I met through this process, and we clicked very well. So this is why I have results as we present them.
That is so good to hear. And my last question for you, what is your biggest takeaway from this collaboration?
I think that actually the thing that I've learned from this is that anything is possible, actually, even during the hard year as we had it, and in this moments where everything is digital, that I don't like actually, but yeah, we are forced to do it like this.
Right, I don't like it either.
I think that no one likes it, but I think that we should use the good things in it and improve the others with it and have something totally new and refreshing. But I really am hoping for some live event next year or whenever. But I really want to see people and I want to feel the energy of that again.
Thank you so much.
Really
Thank you so much for sharing and being here through Teams. That was Neo Design. Thank you so much. So, FASHIONCLASH Festival has come to an end. So I invited the organizers at my table, Branko, Laurens, and Nawie. Welcome.
Hello.
How are you feeling right now?
Very excited. Yeah, it's really excited.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, we've been like most people are telling, it took even longer than it was supposed to be, because it was supposed to go live in November. And as you know, we had like several lockdowns, several rules, curfews. Within all these challenges, we had to maneuver almost every week we had to come up with new plans.
But not only we, I mean everybody, the whole team, everybody had to change. And I think really a big applause to the people you don't see at home, but they're standing there. It's
behind
really
the camera.
It's really, really good work because it's changing all the time. And also the designers, they always had to change. And I mean, they're always stayed positive and because I was thinking, okay, we're changing so much, maybe they don't even want to take part anymore, but that didn't happen. They were just fighting and
it was really a resilience that kept us going, because we had moments where we thought like, oh, is this right? Can we continue with this?
Yeah.
But at the same time, we felt the responsibility, like, but who is going to give them the stage this time?
Yeah.
And especially now, we still have to keep up the, not focus on what is not possible, but what is possible. And I think and it pushed us also to experiment and embrace this challenge. And that's why we were so excited, because in a way it was weird, because we knew what the material was, and we were so excited to share it. And it's also heartwarming. We get response and texts from people that are sitting at home and watching. So there is, I mean, obviously a huge community that we built up over the 12 years, and you feel the energy, although they are not here. And that's, sadly, you would like to hug people, to have the after party, and all these things, but
you're reaching also new people. That's also great. I mean, that's also, I think we also, a lot of these things, what we're doing now, I think we really should use that in next festivals, you know?
Exactly, as we said, although it's maybe not the ideal edition, but it is the most inclusive one, because everybody gets the same screen to watch from. There is no hierarchy in front row or anything.
Very true.
So that was, for us, like, wow, isn't it great that in a way the whole world can watch it?
Yeah.
And these young stars that people don't know their names, perhaps will become in the future, and they have beautiful stories to tell, I thought. And that's why we wanted to have these conversations where people can hear stories and to look beyond their aesthetical taste. And I hopefully that came across with, and thanks to people like you that greatly did these conversations, and it's really...
Thank you so much.
So we're really proud of, it's a really collective work until now, and tomorrow we will have participant-only workshops and conversations. We will continue. And it doesn't, I mean, if we would have to name who is to thank, that's literally every person that has been involved. It's impossible.
Yeah.
So I would say, like, it's really from the bottom of our hearts that big applause to everyone that contributed to this.
Yeah. Let's give everyone a round of applause.
Absolutely.
So, are there any partners you do want to mention to thank them?
Well, I think now for the partners we're now here with, I think that's good to say big thank you, because it was for us, because it's the first time for us to doing this. So it was sometimes maybe a struggle, or but we're there, we made it, and I think you did a really, really good job. So thank you very, very much, guys.
Yeah.
So it's Viro, Nemo, SESSIBON, and also of course the makeup team of Art of Colors with INIKA. Thank you so much. And Blanche, Dael for the location, and of course you, Stephanie. And tell me, sorry? Yeah.
Kevin Murphy, and I mean the local support also, because it was really a challenge to organize everything, to get, we took care of the safety and to get the licenses. I mean, we are now beyond, it's going to be 9 o'clock, and to get the permission, and that it's also taken seriously as a profession. So many people depending also on jobs and showing the work, so that's why we felt we have to do this for each other as well. So it's really, and also fundings and governments, everybody had to be flexible with how we are dealing with the changes. So that's
But it's
amazing.
too many people, because we're going to forget people, but it's so many, and then the volunteers, it's a big list, but a big thank you, and I think you know who we want to thank, so yeah.
Okay, well, we bend, we do not break. Thank you so much. I really feel the gratitude. I want to thank everyone for watching Fashion Clash Festival this year, and we hope to see you back next year, and hopefully not digitally, but in real life. Thank you so much, everyone. Yay!